So as I say, we're going to do a body scan this afternoon. So you're taking a moment to get what you need equipment wise if you want to. Just while we're waiting for the last few people. Hope you all had a good break.
Have you, Vidyamala?
Have I? Yes, I have. I went for a toddle and had a sat in the sun, which was really nice.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, really good. Had a nice break.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm on retreat. Ish. On retreat-ish.
Yeah.
Winding in. I have no idea who I'm talking to. Let me go into gallery views. I can.
Christine.
Christine, hi.
Hiya.
Sort of multiple choice, isn't it? You wonder which one of these.
Yeah, this must be a sea of faces.
It's nice.
Lovely though, yeah, yeah.
You got snow up in Manchester?
I'm in Biddulph now, Staffordshire, but yeah, we've got quite heavy snow.
Mm. All right then, well, it's 3:30, so I think we'll move on. So I'm actually going to lie down to lead this myself. So there's going to be a little bit of kerfuffle with me setting myself up with the technology, but I feel a very strong need to lie down. So bear with me. So I'll just turn my mic off and my camera off while I do all that business. So can you still hear me? Excellent. And could someone, I guess the Tarot Loka team, just someone stay upright and awake in the text side in case there's anything that arises in the chat box that you can respond to? That would be helpful, because I won't be keeping an eye on the chat box at all myself.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the chat box.
Lovely, thank you. I will endeavour to stay awake, but I won't be able to lie down and look at the chat box. Brilliant. Okay, so how's that for volume? Perhaps one of the Tarot Loka people just unmute yourselves and let me know.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Great, because I can't see the screen at all now. Oh, lovely. So body scan is a meditation practice where we're coming closer to our actual experience of being embodied and present. You'll probably find it relaxing, but that's a byproduct. So the first aim is awareness, and relaxation will quite likely be a happy side effect. So closing our eyes if that's comfy. And settling into whatever position we've chosen. And of course you can do it sitting or lying down. And just beginning to arrive more deeply into this position, giving the weight of your body up to the surface it's resting upon. And perhaps releasing a little bit more with each out breath. See if you can let the out breath go all the way out and the in breath flow back in its own time. Letting go of whatever we've been doing during the break. For some of us, it might have been restful. For some of us, it might have been hectic. For some of us, it might have been peaceful, and for others, agitating. It doesn't matter. It's all gone. It's all in the past. And arriving, however we are, into the body, into the moment, into the present. Welcoming everything, our physical experience, our mental experience, and our emotional experience, not leaving anything out. And let's guide our awareness inside the body now, to come to rest inside the abdomen, inside the belly. And beginning to tune in to the movements and sensations of breathing in the belly. Seeing if we can allow the belly to swell a little bit on the in-breath, subside on the out-breath. There's no need to force or alter your breathing, but just seeing if we can allow this to quite naturally take place as we let the main central diaphragm express itself inside the body. As we saw in the video earlier on. Sometimes what happens when we rest our awareness in breathing like this is it's like the breathing can get a bit self-conscious. We can over-breathe. If this is the case, then if you notice that, then broadening awareness a little bit and feeling the weight of the body and gravity to stabilize, release. So we're not over-focusing on the belly, where it's more like we're resting inside the belly and resting inside these movements with an open, receptive awareness. And allowing our awareness to move down inside the body to come to rest in the pelvic floor area. This area we identified earlier, the diamond shape, the anus at the back, pubic hair at the front, the sitting bones either side. Seeing if there's any echo of breathing in this area. Very subtle broadening on the in-breath, subsiding on the out-breath. And remember, it's utterly and completely effortless and receptive. Like an echo or an ocean swell. Letting the buttocks be soft to help this. Having an attitude of curiosity rather than worrying about getting it right or wrong. Seeing what's showing up in your body at this time. Coming into the hips on either side, where the legs join the torso. Resting our awareness inside the hips. Is there any echo of breathing in the hips? And don't worry if there isn't, but being aware of the possibility of the body being a little more pliable than usual. A little softer. Participating in breathing. And coming into the back of the body now, let's come first of all into the buttocks and the sacrum. If we're lying down, most of our weight will be, well, a lot of our weight in the lower part of the body will be going through the buttocks and the sacrum. If we're sitting, weight will be dropping down through the buttocks. Seeing if we can allow this part of the body to yield up to the floor, up to gravity. And coming up to the lower back now. Feeling the curve of the lower back, the shape of the lower back, the area between the buttocks and the back of the waist. Seeing if we can rest our awareness inside this area, so we're inhabiting this area with awareness. Not looking in from the outside. Feeling into the sensations that are present and the movements and feelings of breathing in this part of the body. If there's any discomfort or pain here or indeed in any part of the body as we go through the body scan, seeing if we can feel into the fluid and changing nature of the sensations, letting them come and letting them go, letting them come, letting them go. Usually what we do is we contract against them, harden against them, and push them out of awareness. And that leads to all sorts of secondary tension and strain. So what's it like to include these sensations and awareness and feel into their changing nature? Coming up to the middle back. And the upper back. The spine running up the middle of the upper back. The ribs and the lungs on either side. Shoulder blades. So feeling the length and the breadth of the upper back. And resting inside the experience of the upper back being breathed. And expanding to be aware of the whole back of the body, the whole length of the spine, and the whole breadth. Resting inside the landscape of the whole back of the body. And feeling the movements and sensations of breathing in the whole back of the body. Coming through the body to the chest now. Filling and opening phase on the in-breath, subsiding phase on the out-breath. For any reason our breathing feels agitated in the chest, or coming into awareness of breathing in the chest triggers agitation, then hold it in a broad awareness. Being aware of the whole body as the background and just edging into awareness in the chest, in the foreground. And broadening to be aware of the whole torso now. The front and the back and the sides. The inside and the surface of the whole torso. Allowing it to open a little bit in all directions on the in-breath. Subside a little bit in all directions on the out-breath. Always having gravity as your friend. Resting, yielding, releasing. And now coming into the shoulders. On either side of the torso. And at this point, let's check that we're giving the weight of the arms up to gravity fully. Having the hands supported either on the body or at the side of the body, the lap if we're sitting. As the arms rest in gravity, allowing the shoulders to fall away from the midline of the body, falling into gravity. And is there any expression or echo of breathing inside the shoulders? And allowing our awareness to pour down into the arms now. First of all, the upper arms, allowing the upper arms to be full of awareness, drenched in awareness, feeling sensations, or maybe there's an absence of sensations. That's also something to be aware of. Doesn't really matter what our experience is, the main thing is to be aware. So there's no right or wrong experience. It's just awareness. And coming to the elbows, feeling into the shape of the elbows, resting, the contact with the floor if we're lying down, or the bed. What's it like to give the elbows up to the surface they're resting on without gripping or holding on? Allowing awareness to flow down into the lower arms, and the wrists. And the hands, the palms of the hands, the backs of the hands, the fingers, the thumbs. Allowing these to become drenched in awareness. Allowing awareness to rest in the hands. And can you let your hands and your fingers rest in the here and now? Very often if our mind is rushing into the future, there's a reaching in the fingers. If our mind is holding on to the past, there's a clinging in the fingers. Conversely, if we can let the fingers soften and rest in the here and now, that very often calls the mind back. Allowing awareness to flow back up through the arms, through the shoulders and up into the neck and the head. If we're lying down, let's check that we're giving the weight of the head up fully to the pillow or the cushion. If we're sitting, let's check if the head is poised on the top of the spine. Release through the base of the skull and yet openness in the throat. And coming back down to the neck now, allowing awareness to rest in the back of the neck and the front of the neck, the sides, the inside of the neck. The wind of the breath flowing through this area on the way in, the way out of the body. And being aware of that area we identified this morning at the back of the mouth, the throat. And coming into the whole face, the lips, the tongue, the jaw, cheeks, nose, the eyes, forehead. The hair, head, and the brain resting in its little cradle inside the skull. Even this participates in breathing. Allowing our awareness now to pour down through the body and coming back to the hips again for a few moments. And let's check that we're giving the legs up to gravity. So the legs can fall away from the hips. Hips resting, breathing. And now allowing awareness to pour down into the thighs. Front of the thighs, the back of the thighs. The inside, the circumference, the surface. Maybe feeling contact with our clothes. Maybe sensations are intense, maybe they're absent or dull. Just being aware of whatever's showing up in the thighs. And the knees, feeling the shape of the knees as they rest here. Maybe they're bent, maybe they're straight. And allowing awareness to pour down into the lower legs, soft calves at the back, the shins at the front, circumference, the inside. Seeing if our awareness can be fully occupied, inhabiting the lower legs. And the ankles. And now allowing awareness to pour down inside the feet. The soles of the feet. The tops of the feet. Inside of the feet. The sides of the feet. And now pouring inside each and every toe. So we're resting inside. We're not taking a bird's eye view, but we're inhabiting gradually ever deeper and deeper inside the body. We're moving deeper and deeper inside the body. And now let's broaden our awareness as the legs, torso, arms, neck, head, face. This experience we label as the body, but it's actually a whole flow of sensations arising and passing moment by moment. Some things we would label as pleasant, some things we would label as unpleasant, some things we would label as dull and interesting. Let's see if we can rest our awareness very deeply inside this flow of experience, of being embodied, but softening it away from a thing into a flow of experience. Sensations are unpleasant. Noticing the tendency to harden against them. And in the noticing, we can soften and release, including these sensations in the flow of awareness with kindness, tenderness. And sensations we might describe as pleasant, notice any tendency to cling onto these, want them to last, solidify them with awareness. And again, in the noticing, we can release back into the flow of experience. If our experience predominantly feels dull or boring and we keep drifting off, perhaps we can look for something in our experience, our physical experience, our embodied experience that catches our interest, and rest there with curiosity for a few moments. Maybe getting a sense of how the volume of the whole body is opening a little bit in all directions on the in-breath, subsiding a little bit in all directions on the out-breath. The body occupies a little bit more space on the in-breath than the out-breath. So beginning to consider bringing this practice to a close. And just notice what happens even with the thought of moving. There's probably some subtle gripping that goes on somewhere in the body or the mind. Anticipated gripping. Let's see if we can release that. Just be present. And bring a little bit of movement into the feet, fingers and the toes. Seeing if we can keep this sense of flow. Coming into bigger movements however you want to. Stretching if you want to, and then if we're lying down, coming up into an upright position carefully, maybe bending the knees first of all, having the feet flat on the floor. Rocking the knees from side to side. And then perhaps rolling over on your side if that's comfy. And then coming over towards your hands and knees and allowing the spine to uncurl with the head following, so we're not straining the neck. Good. Okay, so I think we'll just leave it there. We've got groups in about 20 minutes. I think we'll just have a slightly longer break now so we can have a spacious day. And you can talk about anything you noticed in the body scan or the breath inquiry this morning if you want to in your groups.